Hi, so today I'm finally going to film my uni advice and reflections video. I've taken a good long while to think about doing this just because you graduate and it's a super crazy busy time. I had loads going on, you've got to sort out work, everything, got to celebrate. So yeah, it's December now, so I graduated a long while ago. But yeah, no, hopefully I can pass on some useful advice and some wisdom to anybody who's thinking about going to uni, specifically Royal Holloway. And yeah, let's get started. So I've got a geography degree. I've done BA geography, and that's mostly human options. Geography's physical and human based. So physical options are more sort of traditional science things, and human is kind of social sciences. I picked human options just because that's where my interests personally lie. But you can mix and match, and then at the end, depending on what you've done, you get a BSc or a BA. I don't know whether I assume that's common knowledge, but I'm not sure. I'm going to split this video up into parts just so that it's easier for people to kind of navigate. They can skip what's relevant, what's not relevant. And yes, hopefully keep it interesting and not just word vomit, because there's a lot to talk about and I don't want this to be too much repetition from the previous video I did, which I will link below. That's from a long while ago now. I think I was end of second year, maybe even before that. So yeah, hopefully this will be a more full coverage of the whole 3 years, because it's, plenty of time for there to be many ups and downs, which there definitely were. Okay, so let's start from the beginning. I've just put the blind up, by the way. I'm sat right next to my window, so I'm sort of blinded, but the sun's very bright today and it's all just a bit weird. So we'll see how that looks, and I can potentially change it throughout, but I haven't got a viewfinder, so I have absolutely no idea whether I'm even in focus right now, but what can you do? Okay, so I've got my little notepad, I'm super prepared, ready to go. So choosing a uni. So my decision in hindsight was probably not based on everything that it should have been based on. I didn't take into consideration all of the different factors, but as a 17-year-old human, often, you don't have the life experience or best knowledge of yourself to make an informed choice. So I based my decision on location, obviously where I thought I could get into with my A-level results, which is obviously the key thing, and perhaps didn't look into lifestyle factors so much, one being that Royal Holloway is in Egham, which is a relatively quiet town, which is advertised as being near London, but you're half an hour away on a train, so it's not really London or whatsoever, it's Surrey. But I viewed it, I remember in year 13, so second year of sixth form, and I loved it. I mean, it's an amazing building to look at, it's all very aesthetically pleasing, and I knew I had a chance of getting in there based on my grades. Somebody calling me? Got ABB to get into Royal Holloway. I needed ABB and I managed to get that, thank God, because I don't know whether I would have got in without those grades. I think potentially I would have, although I know since I have joined that the grade boundaries have gone up, because I'm pretty sure Royal Holloway is a top 20 uni now for the UK. So obviously what comes along with that is a greater expectation of grades, I assume. And yeah, I obviously chose geography purely because I enjoyed that at school. I don't regret doing geography. However, I didn't thoroughly enjoy the course, I don't feel, as much as I could have with something else. I mean, I toyed between doing an English degree, a geography degree, a history degree, which are all 3 A-levels that I did. I don't think I had much sort of understanding that you didn't have to do a degree in like a school subject. Obviously you can do like fashion degrees, communications, whatever, and perhaps that would have been a good avenue for me to go down personally, because I think that's probably where my talents lie, in things to do with fashion and things like that. But no, overall I'm really pleased that I have got a geography degree. I think it's like pretty applicable to a lot of different jobs, although everybody does ask you when you graduate, oh, so you're going to be a teacher now? And you're like, no, I actually just really don't want to be a teacher, so don't ask me that question. But yeah, no, the expectation is that you're going to be a geography teacher, which is quite funny, but yeah. So I would probably sum that up as I was just generally very drawn to Royal Holloway, in the sense that it's an hour and a half from Bournemouth, which is where I live, and yeah, it's a relatively good uni. I could get in there. It seemed like it would be a good lifestyle choice for me. I would say that if you are the sort of person who's going to be affected by being away from home, which I definitely was in my first few months there, I was massively affected with like being homesick. I remember crying for like 3 days straight, just being like, oh my god, I don't know what I'm doing, which I think is really, really common, and I don't think many people talk about. But no, I was like quite devastated by moving away from home, which does like go away really quickly, but I think that it's kind of essential that you gotta throw yourself in. You've got to I think I've just kicked the camera, so if that just wobbled, then sorry. But yeah, you've really got to throw yourself in at the deep end and get involved. You can't sit in your room by yourself. You need to get involved with your flatmates. If you don't like your flatmates, which is likely, luckily I really liked everyone that I lived with in first year. I was in a flat of 12. I lived in Runnymede, just in case anybody's actually researching Royal Holloway halls. Runnymede halls is pretty good option. It's all just been renovated. It was renovated the year after I moved out, so yeah, no, that's a good choice. My sister also is at Royal Holloway, did a geography degree, same as me, and she lived there, and I think she quite enjoyed being in those flats, although she didn't get lucky with flatmates and didn't really find anything in common with them. But yeah, no, so it's luck, that side of it. But no, if you are looking to make it easy for yourself, you need to go and find a society or a team to join, and I really think you need to make an effort with that kind of thing, because it just determines how happy you're going to be and how much you settle in, like from the get-go, really. So I didn't join a team or anything. I just started going to the gym a lot, and I don't regret that, because I'm still a bit of a gym goer now. But Anna, my sister, joined the rowing team for her second year, and she is absolutely loving it. So I can fully recommend Royal Holloway's rowing team, because it seems like it's a great time, super social. She's really, really, really enjoying it. So if you are looking to do something sporty, potentially do that. There's so many teams to join. I know that there's like, some of it's quite weird. So if you've got, quite niche interests, there's like a weird zombie club where they run around with silly guns and like pretend to like shoot each other. It's all very strange, but no, there's something for everyone there. So you gotta get involved. The actual geography kind of cohort for my year all got very close, which I wasn't really part of. I had like a small friendship group for most of uni, although I did branch out a bit more in third year once I got a job and everything, but I will cover that later. So now I'm going to cover the main thing that you go to uni for, so doing your lectures and your seminars. I'm going to do this mostly from a geography perspective, obviously, because that was my course, so I'll stick to what I know. But the way that it's structured is it's kind of quite little contact time, so you're probably in uni in first year it's a little bit more, so maybe you do 10 to 12 hours of lectures a week, and that's normally a combination of human and physical, and then you do geographical techniques, which is I didn't enjoy whatsoever, but it's different courses. Well, it's one big course made up of different modules, so you do things like mapping using geographical information systems, so that's all kind of computer-based mapping. You do research methods, presentations, it's that kind of thing. And they're assessed through coursework, and then in the first year, for Royal Holloway, none of your essays for your course count. They're all, are they called formative when they don't count? I think it's formative. And then summative assessments do count, and for the actual lectures you go to, that's assessed by an exam which happens at the end of the year. So it's 4 2-hour exams at the end of the year, so 2 physical and 2 human. That's the way it works for first year. I'm pretty sure that hasn't changed. Second year, you get to choose what you'd like to do. So you choose your options. I chose 3 human options. So I chose cultural geographies, political geographies, and I think it was cities, or geographies of the city, or something along those lines. Which I don't remember hating any of them. I quite enjoyed it, but you still have to do geographical techniques in second year, which is annoying, but you know. My grades first year my grades were very, very super average, but I got better and better as it went along, which I think is the case for a lot of people, because the way uni's assessed is quite different from anything you've done before. Once you really get good at referencing's a huge thing at uni, you need to get good at, but it's easy to get good at. Like, once you know how to reference, then you know how to reference, and that's fine, that's sorted. It took me a while to get the hang of that, actually. I think I was a bit slow with that, but yeah, so reference well and you'll be fine. You should read as widely as you can for your essays. A lot of people kind of cheat, I feel, with their essays, and they try to get through with reading intros and conclusions of academic papers, and then their final essays a little bit like, it just seems a bit copied and very general, and yeah. So, you know, do your reading week to week, and it will help with your essays. Don't try and cheat. That's what I would say anyway, because number one, you can do your essays well, and that's good practice, especially in first year. And also, when it comes to the exam, you have all your readings ready to go at the end of the year, and you can just, what I would do for my revision is go through all my readings, and I would just shorten everything into cards. I used to try and make every reading that I had done throughout the year. So if you do 3 main courses a year, not counting geographical techniques, then I would probably I do 2 readings for each course per week. So you're trying to do a minimum of 6 readings a week, which it's doable, but sometimes it's hard when you've got a life to be leading and seminar prep to do and an essay to do, which requires extra reading. So it does become a lot, but it's definitely doable. I mean, I always managed it. There are a lot of people that go to uni and seem to just not do anything, which really annoys me, and they're what all the annoying Facebook posts are about. I honestly find them super annoying, because it's honestly just like people lazing about, and it just frustrates me, and that's not how you do well at uni, I don't think. There's definitely room to like slack here and there, because it's uni and that's kind of part of it, but part of the lifestyle. But yeah, no, I think you gotta set some kind of like standard for yourself, otherwise what's the point in paying £9,000 for a course a year? It's ridiculous. So what I would try and do with my readings is condense it to an A4 sheet each, and then I would have the A4 sheet, and I feel the way that I can learn is I can sort of memorise the way a piece of paper would look or things like that, and then I would take quotes out of my A4 sheets of paper and have them stuck by my desk and learn the quotes. So that's the way I always did my revision. I always would start my revision about, when do you have your exams? Like end of April and May at Royal Holloway. So I started my revision, normally just did it through the Easter holidays and then up until the actual exams, so like a good 6 weeks of revision. And I would say that was definitely enough for uni. Like, my exam results were always good, so I mean, it depends how long it takes you to learn things, but I wouldn't say that there was much more time for exam revision. Like, it's not the same as school, whereas I normally at school would revise quite a bit throughout the year, but I just don't think there's really time for that at uni. Like, I know that since I've finished, they have cut down some of the deadlines for first and second year, because I know that there was a lot when I was there. There was a lot of deadlines for geography, and where obviously Anna's there, I kind of know what's still happening. And she said that second year they've cut down how much you have to do, which is definitely a good thing. It was definitely necessary. So that is good. Seminars. I have to say, I don't think seminars are the best. I know a lot of people seem to love seminars. You get the opportunity to speak, like have an opinion on, you know, academic literature. But for me, I never found that they were like very well structured or prepared for, or I always thought they were odd. And by the time it came to third year, I used to skip a lot of them, or regularly I did walk out of them, because I just thought they were really sometimes just quite patronising. I remember this was for the end of third year, we had like some exam prep seminars, and in case I haven't explained this, and if anyone has been to uni, a seminar is like a small group of you go to see the lecturer or a PhD student who's studying that subject, and you talk about something you've been studying in more detail, or they'll ask you to read a piece of literature and then you discuss that. But I remember one exam prep seminar in particular where they were asking us what makes a good exam question, and it was just, people were literally putting their hands up and saying things like paragraphs, and I was just so astounded that we were discussing paragraphs as like 20-year-old people in third year of uni. I was just like, what am I doing here? And yeah, I just didn't like seminars in general, so personally, in my opinion, they are not, you know, essential to success, unless they're discussing the essay, in which case I would go, because you can ask specific questions about the essay, steal other people's ideas, always a good idea. Yeah, you can just ask questions, and it's a good opportunity to, you know, process the questions a bit better. Okay, so now moving on to less kind of study-based topics. Overall happiness at uni obviously is kind of linked to what I've said before about like throwing yourself in and making sure you're making friends and all of that. But I kind of definitely had like a dip in second year of just feeling rubbish at uni. I'd had a really good first year, and then I think I was really disheartened at the end of first year. I hadn't done amazingly well in first year. You obviously move into your house in second year, which is really fun, but also can be stressful if you're not finding, you know, people to live with. Luckily, I did. Although I wish there had been more of us in our house, because I think it would have been more enjoyable and fun if we'd had more than 3 of us in the house, because I don't know, it's quite an intense atmosphere. If there's 3 of you and you don't get on, I mean, we all got on. But I know that a lot of people argue in their houses, and it's quite an intense like living arrangement. So I don't know, I think maybe try and have quite a few of you, if possible. Also, you've got to get in early with your house options, because that's like a big deal if you get a crap house. If you're living in a rubbish area that's quite far away from uni, or you're paying a lot, I mean, you've just got to like make sure you're dealing with it as quickly as possible, I think. What else have I put down to talk about houses? I'll tell you a bit about our house actually. So we lived Englefield Green, which was a really good choice. I would recommend living on Englefield Green, and not, because basically the housing situation in Egham is split between Englefield Green and then the Egham end of the hill, because Royal Holloway is sort of on Egham Hill, and then Royal Holloway's on it, and then Englefield Green's at the top of the hill and Egham's at the bottom of the hill. For some reason Englefield Green has like a really bad rep, and I don't really get it, but I lived literally around the corner from uni, which was a really, really good choice, because it was like a 10-minute walk into uni every day. So super close to the library and everything. We had a really great neighbourhood as well. We were friends with the neighbours. yeah, that like once I think was having a better time once I kind of established myself in the neighbourhood. So by third year, I'd kind of sorted myself out. I had a job, which meant I could branch out friendship wise, which obviously I had lacked the ability to do where I hadn't really been trying and in first year and stuff. So that was that. I got a job in the Happy Man at uni, which is such a great decision for me personally, because it's really sociable working in a pub. There's a lot of pubs in Egham. There's probably like 4 or 5 pubs there, and for a small town that's like, I think, a considerable amount. And it really gave me like something to do. Obviously I was earning money, so I could do a bit more with my life, because obviously uni is like a time which is known for being difficult financially for most people. It's dependent on what loan you're getting, like parents' financial situations, whatever else. So yeah, having a job really like helped me out in a lot of ways, and just like allowed me to get to know some people who were living just in the area, which, I don't know, it gives you like a sense of like community and like belonging in the place that you live. And by the time I'd got to the end of third year, I really didn't want to move out of Egham again. And you then have the big move back home, which is, oh my goodness, it feels like such a massive obstacle in your head by the time you're sort of February time of third year, and you know you've got a few months left which you know are going to be really, really stressful, which I thought they were really stressful anyway. Other people were probably more prepared, and I just didn't want to come home. I didn't feel like I had any sort of basis at home of friends, of work. I was just like, oh my god, what am I going to do? I'd always worked in Topshop back home in the Christmas and Easter holidays, and I just was like, I don't want to work there anymore. I've worked there for so long. I need to get a proper job. I work at an architect's now. I don't think I've said that. A secretary at an architect's, which I don't think is too bad of a choice for me right now, because I didn't make preparations throughout third year for work after uni, which please do, people. Honestly, you need to just try and get an internship, some sort of experience. If you can get the experience while you're at uni in the holidays, you get a lot of time off every year. So if you can get the experience, then you should totally try and get it, because it's like so worth it. I am being a secretary at the moment. It is full-time work, which honestly, this is the biggest thing I miss about uni. It's just like the freedom. You can wake up every morning and do whatever you want with your day. You can get up at 10 if you want, pop into the library for a few hours, do some work, come back home, have a nap, carry on, like depending, there's just so much flexibility with it, which now I'm like, I'm up at 7, I get in at like 5:30, and then I do it all over again 5 times a week. And it's just, if I can get out of working full-time at any point in my life, I'm going to do it, because it's just really not for me. But I'm still getting used to the whole, like, I'm still adjusting to it massively. And when I moved home, I had a huge problem settling back in. I mean, I've been back home for like 4 months now. And I honestly was so upset moving back home. I kept crying. I felt very fragile about the whole thing. You miss your friends. It's so hard to keep in touch. Finding a job is the most draining thing ever when you're not. I didn't know what I was looking for. I still don't know what I'm looking for long term. And it's just like a huge mental weight to just try and like sort through, and like you have to just try and be patient with yourself throughout it all. And I feel much better now, like I can cope with being back at home. I've made some friends, so yeah, it's all looking okay for right now. So the battery started flashing at me now, so I'm going to try and finish up, but I hope this has been kind of useful. Uni's definitely like an interesting time, and I think everyone has such varied experiences. It's very hard to kind of summarise in one video, because it's 3 years of like like an intense time in your life of just like gaining life experience, like having honestly, uni is so much fun. And if you're thinking about going, I would really encourage you to go, because having a degree is obviously amazing. So many people are getting degrees now. I think you've really got to choose something you really enjoy doing. Like, find your thing. If you need to take a gap year, take a gap year. Like, I wouldn't rush it. There's no need to rush. For me, I wish I had another year at uni so much right now. Like, having a master's is like obviously a great addition to going to uni, and that's something that I've considered doing and I'm still considering doing now. But yeah, I hope this has been kind of useful. If it feels like it's short, but I feel like maybe it's not, and I've been speaking for ages. But I think I've covered everything on my list. And yeah, I can do further videos of like more if people have questions. I'm sure nobody will ask me questions on this though, but the other video I did of this got quite like a few views. There's obviously, some demand for uni chats. Yeah, overall I solidly rate my uni experience, and seriously consider Royal Holloway because it's a great place to go to uni. But yeah, thank you very much for watching.